For 2011 here, aka MannyTendoWolverine. So, as you guys know, wrestling journals now towards this channel. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, BShoot Brady, on Rumble, Odyssey, Telegram, Parler, any social media platform site, as always you guys can think of. So, I know both these came out on Saturday. I was doing a bunch of other stuff on errands on Sunday. I wasn't gonna be able to do it because first time in how many years? Probably 1999 or 2001. So I was about like 10 or 12 years old. I actually went to my third ever IRL real life action freaking baseball game. If any people don't live out here in Vegas, it's called the Aviators. I'm not really hardcore into sports, like I said before. The only two other sports I ever gave a shit about besides tennis and bowling is probably boxing, a little bit of MMA, and baseball. And that's probably basketball and football I'll never get into and I never will, because this is, to me personally, and you guys can love it and just, for me, it's an extra waste of time. You can say with baseball too, I don't care, but still. It was fun. One of the best experiences I had in a long time, like almost 19 and a half years. The last time I saw my last baseball game was like 11 or 12, I think. Long ass time ago. I felt like a kid at the candy store again. But anyways, I'm playing some WWE 2020 music thing. 2K20. So this dude has something to do with WWE sports wrestling. Usually this isn't, I'm not sure if this would be like, this wouldn't be video game industry news or anime manga news or DC comic or anime or even Disney or Twitter Twitchy drama or TikTok news. It would be more like just random celebrity news probably at this point, because I have no idea who these mother offers are, period. Most of them are probably full of shit anyways. Maybe some are good people, but most of them may just real nasty, raw, disgusting garbage ass attitudes, even if it's like, oh, it's an acting thing. And I know some people hate it and say, oh, wrestling's just a made up fake make believe thing. Yeah, it is, but you could just say that with anything. You know, some of the boxing matches, unfortunately, some of those are rigged too, so I can't believe all of it. So it says on Woke, Joe Gacy has already been canceled by WWE. This came from bleedingcool.com. I gotta give mad props to these fools over there at Clownfish TV. I think Neon talked about it. So I'll leave the link in the original switch box down below. Or I think it's him or Yellow Flash too that talked about it. So 2 days ago, I know I'm real late on this one, but whatever. So the term cancelled comes from Ryan Fassetti from Bleeding Cool that I pressed on. The term cancelled, I'm not surprised if it is, has also become a prevalent in one of the modern societies, and you might see this thing glitch out a few times. I apologize if I do. For some reason, Bleeding Cool is kind of a crappy site, just has too many advertisements. So let's begin. So it says, I'm referring to when a famous person does something wrong, usually EX, misconduct, or unfortunately racist, offensive manner. I have to say it like that because I don't want to get a strike or any of that shit, but let's move on. Social media network decides that they are done supporting this person. It's all part of what has dubbed woke culture. WWE decided, in the past Tuesday, in the M 2.0, the personality, former CZW, I don't know who any of these people are. I haven't watched wrestling like ever. One thing I ever cared about wrestling is like the old school GameCube and PS2, PS3 games and the Xbox 360 games. It's like the last time I gave a shit about them. I was like 19 or 20 the last time I cared about it. And a lot of my other friends IRL at that time, high school and community college, all to like my sophomore and community college, like, were huge hardcore fans of real life wrestling and video game wrestling too. So I just joined the bandwagon for a little bit of them. I just didn't have to give rats about it. So it's World Heavyweight Champion Joe Gacy, having him portrayed a very woke character who made a note of his white male privilege and misrepercussions. And I saw the video on Twitter. Everyone was, half the freaking audience was booing and other ones were clapping. Shows you where some of the sheep, the masses, the sheeple minds people are at. So let's move on. And of course it went about us as well as the WWE has created a sociopathic character. Of course it did, I'm not surprised. But anyways, it's freaking man of the hour, Joe Gacy. This dude, oh my god. What a fucking joke, bro. What a joke. I had to go back up a little bit because this thing doesn't want to cooperate with me. Oh. While any of the other characters in the NXT comments on the current world issues would be controversial, Joe Gacy was clearly presented as an annoying heel. One who was beaten in the matchup against babyface Cameron Grimes. I don't know who any of these people are because I'm a complete fucking noob when it comes to like wrestling. You know, I'm sorry. Immediately after a promo where Gacy gave a self-mocking portrayal of a modern liberal man. There's all this bullshit politics in this. It's so fucking sad. But let's move on. And it might have been going on for a while. I don't keep up with anything that's going on in the wrestling industry world. And you guys are wrestling fans, you probably know way more than I do. You're probably pro MLG expert of it compared to me. Absolute. You guys are probably god tier masters of wrestling and WWE knowledge compared to me. Well, let's move on. Because I'm a complete dumbass when it comes to wrestling. I'm glad too, because it's just boring as hell to me. They have all the adrenaline, nostalgia, and even for the women's one too. Just none of it excites me. Yeah, some of the women are super beautiful and pretty, but just some become prawn stars later on. That's wrong. So it says there's been more right-leaning outlets, but it seems to have been more in the right-leaning outlets such as Fox News and New York Post. What really is liking to the character was really highlighted as WWE knocking to the left. It's pretty obvious for anyone to watch it, even though WWE's intentions with the woke Joe Gacy character was pretty clear. It now appears that they weren't prepared enough for the attention it received and now seemingly been canceled his character by removing the video featuring him and from YouTube and any mention from him on social media accounts and websites. Wow. So this fool completely destroyed his career. He's fucked. So this is obviously an unusual move for the company, and he just debuted it. I'm not going to read half of this article. I can't read the whole thing because this fucking website glitches a lot. Let's continue. He just debuted it under the TV under a week ago, but while the WWE of the past would welcome the all controversy and eyes in the product, the excuse me, current WWE is very cautious and social media sensitivity brand that doesn't want any heat from any group or to be political or otherwise. The hope now is that they simply find something new for the talented Joe Gacy instead of releasing or burying him on TV. This simply doing what he was told and doing it very well. He did it way too fucking well. I literally almost puked in my mouth twice when I saw the video 2 days ago. So fucking cringe. If I was a wrestling fan, I'd be way more angrier. Like I said before, I get a credit due. Yellow Flash 2 and Neon from Clubfish TV. I heard about it from these guys. I guess they're a lot more big into wrestling than I am. But let's move on. So this is, and if anyone who chimes in and says, yeah, but the bullshit is that, quote, they never do this in mocking conservative character, unquote. Let me ask you, have you seen Zeb Coulter? I don't know who any of these people are. Completely clueless who they are. Maybe he or she or they, them, it. They're real big for you guys, but for me, they're no one. Let's move on. Around on WWE lately, as the good wins and the hunt for the tag title at the moment, surely JBL still doing the segments where he's chasing away immigrants on the border, right? Ooh, real hot, spicy takes there. So it also goes on to say, have to see what's next for Joe Gacy in NXT because it seems like Brand himself is just in it for a revamp. Yeah, real thoughts, season ends. I don't give a fuck about none of this wrestling. WWE, this guy's, I don't know if he really is a hardcore macho man. We're talking about safe spaces. We need to represent people of color. We can't have our white privilege anymore. It's like, I'm not sure if he was playing a character or not, if he actually was being himself, but bro, he dug his own grave. He literally, like, he smashed his freaking foot. Literally, not literally, but like, career-wise and popularity celebrity-wise, he destroyed his career. He burned his career, like, literally Friday or Saturday. That's pretty fucking sad. So, let's get into actual video game news, ancient news. I'm not reading this whole thing, there's tiny bits of it, you guys can read it on your own. But let's move on. It's Pack Man, the video game fraud of the century. It's 4 days ago, not 3 days. So it says, today we look at Billy Mitchell's actual encounter with Nakamaru. Media coverage from the TGS Tokyo Game Show from way back in 1999. Oh man, here we go. And how Walter and Billy pull their biggest century of the year. So, yeah, let's continue. Alright, so, let's get into the second one. That's been like, what, 2019, the last time I talked about Billy Mitchell? Well, 2.5 years ago, man. This dude's still relevant. It was like 55, 60, 70, I think now. And this dude's always been on a bunch of controversy before, I'm not surprised. Some people think he's got his head out far up his ass, but whatever. He seemed like a chill dude when it came to the gaming industry, man. I guess this is where that dude guy, BMK Dr. Disrespect, got his freaking persona from and his alter ego from. This is Billy Mitchell's old website, now debunked. This should have been 23rd. I don't know why it's the 21st, but I saw it 3 days ago. Trust me. I don't really like reading for Kotaku, Lotaku, but fuck it, whatever. I have a lot of like freaking stupid ass AW on virtue signaling bullshit, cancel culture crap there, but only place I can fucking find it. And like I said before, there's a lot more extra history in this dude, perfectpacman.com. So, this comes from already noticed, still gotta credit's due, even if they're assholes. This is with nothing else. You've gotten a bit of respect here. I'm gonna skip down a few articles here and there, or a few paragraphs, so I'm not gonna make this too long. Billy Mitchell, so-called video game player of the century, appears to have let his ownership overgo his old website's Perfect PacMan lapse some years ago. Now someone else has commanded the domain as using a publisher that investigates and is off question legitimacy. Mitchell's world record Batman score. Who's Billy Mitchell? I'm not even going to get over that. I'm just going to read some of this part here and there. It says, but the evidence emerged that Billy Mitchell is a popular software-based emulator MAME. Used the popular software-based editor multiple arcade machine emulator to achieve at least some of the scores, rather than playing the authentic hardware. Both Guinness Book of World Record and the Twin Galaxies popular game leaderboard stripped Mitchell away. And this is 2018 2019 when that happened. That was only the fourth time I ever talked about this dude. So it said last year, I guess 2020, Guinness Book of World Records organization reinstated his record. Also goes on to say something Mitchell sold Ars Technica. I might have read it from there on The Verge, but that's wrong. Which was in the work for 6 months prior, but held out due to legal talks. Twin Galaxies has not reinstated Mitchell's record. And I'm just going to skip that whole particle there. Oh yeah, Walter C., who did not share his last name, and is not to be confused with the former Twin Galaxies owner, Michelle's supporter, Walter Day, claimed that Mitchell's set has been vacated since the August. They mean August, said August, I don't know, let's continue. A few years ago, someone picked up the domain. After the leadership was lapsed and Walter C. picked it up, he backfilled the site with posts announcing the top of the site that the release was scheduled for Magic the Gathering, At one point, the site published a link to a profile written by Kotaku EIC Stephanie Toledo, Twin Galaxies ref Robert Macruzzi. Macruzzi is someone's using his username as a frequent commentator of perfectpacman.com. And yeah, I'm just gonna read that part here, and that's it. Every post is displayed similarly by both no violent and author info. Despite no shortages of phrases written for the first person, the vast majority are, quote, gaming-related topics, unquote, are dedicated to examining Mitchell's claims of Pac-Man frame, and most of these points are part of a series planned to eventually come out into installments. The grandiose headline, the video game fraud of the century, clear planned words of the title of Billy Mitchell routinely has claimed. This dude thinks he's an actual god. If he does, I feel bad for him. Overall thoughts, views, and opinions. This man, he's got to touch some grass, bro. Touch some freaking grass, because you, good sir, man, like I said, like, you got your head shoved so far up your ass, you're a freaking idiot, bro. You really gotta calm down with your freaking old crazy-ass ego persona. I mean, you were cool in video games in the 80s and shit, and before I was alive, before the 90s, but still, you gotta calm down, slow the brakes, pump the brakes hard as fuck. And like touch some fucking grass and pet a dog and a cat in real life. You just don't stay stuck in your arcade cabinet for the rest of your life. My personal opinion. That's all I gotta say for now, and I'm out of here. Peace out once again, ladies and gentlemen, bros and boys, as always. Talking like more as soon to see you guys today of the night wherever you never saw this music on Jingle, video game industry news, DC comic news, TikTok news, Twitch news, drama news, reaction videos once in a while, and that's it. And celebrity gossip once in a while. Peace out, my Dark Route. It's goodbye. See you on the flip side. Goodbye.